Today's lesson is on measures of center and spread. Two commonly used measures of center of a set of numerical data are mean and median. Mean, remember, just means average. It's another word for average. And median means to find the middle. For the middle number. All right, for example, find the mean and median from the set of test scores. We have 65, 70, 80, 90, 100. If you want to find the mean, you're going to take the average. So what you're going to do is add up all the scores. And you're going to divide the sum by the number of scores. Well, it looks like we have 5 scores here. So you're going to divide all this by 5. All right, so if you add all this together, you're going to wind up with 405. And if you divide that by 5, you wind up with 81. So we know that the mean of these set of numbers is 81. So we know the mean is 81. If I want to find the median, I look at the set of scores and I make sure I write them in order. So 65, after that is 70, 80. So it looks like they're in order. Then you want to look for the middle number. So look carefully, you see, since we have an odd number this time, we know that 80 is the middle number there. So the median is 80. All right, find the mean and median from the set of test scores. Now we have 70, 77, 86, 84, 93, 90. Again, for the mean, you're just going to add up all these scores. And we have a set of 6 test scores, so you're going to divide that by 6. So what this is 500. You're dividing that by 6. And if you do that, you're going to wind up with 83. So we can say that the mean is 83. But now look carefully. For the median, we have an even amount of scores. So the rule is that you find the two numbers in the middle and take the average of those two. So we're going to take 86 plus 84. We're going to divide that by 2. That's what you do. And I believe this is 170 divided by 2. This will give you 85. So the median is 85. All right, quartiles are percentiles that divide the data into fourths, hence the word quarter. The first quartile is the mean, is the median of the lower half of the data. The second quartile is the median of the whole data set. The third quartile is the median of the upper half of the data. All right, two commonly used measures of the spread of a set of numerical data are the range and interquartile range, referred to as IQR. The range is just simply the difference between the greatest data value and the least data value. The IQR is the difference between the third and first quartile. All right, for example, find the range and IQR from the set of data. All right, so the range is pretty simple. We're just going to take the highest number in the set. Make sure it's in order, though. We have 65, 70, 80, 90, 100. Take the greatest value, and we're going to subtract from that the least value. It's going to be 65. When you do that, you're going to wind up with 35, I believe. All right, but the IQR, you have to break it down into the quartiles. So you remember that 80, let me list the numbers here. Remember, 80 is the median. That means that's our second quartile. So that's the second quartile. And since this is an odd number, it makes it simple. So the first quartile will be 70, and the third is going to be 90. And what you want to do is, for the IQR, you're going to subtract the first quartile from the third. So we have 90 minus 70. So we have an IQR of 20. All right, find the range and IQR from the data set. Again, make sure this is in order. So we have 70, 77, 84, 86, 90, 93. All right, so the range, we're going to take the highest value, 93, and we're going to subtract the lowest value, 70, from that. And when you do that, you wind up with 23. And the IQR, all right, well, we have 70, 77, 84, 86, 90, 93. Remember, this is an even set of numbers. So the average, you have to take the average of the middle two numbers. And from the previous example, we know this is 85. So we know that's our our second quartile. But in this case, you're going to have to take the average of the rest of these. So you're going to take the average of 70 and 77. And if you do that, you're going to get 73.5. That'll be our first quartile. You're going to take the average of 90 and 93. And when you do that, you're going to get 91.5. And you want to subtract the third quartile. This is our third quartile. This is our second and our first. So IQR is going to be 91.5 minus the first quartile. So minus 73.5. And when you do that, you're going to wind up with 18. It's our IQR. All right, another measure of spread is standard deviation, denoted by this symbol here. This tells us how far apart each unit of data is from the median. To find the standard deviation from a set of numerical data, follow these steps. First, you get the mean from the set of numbers. Once you get that mean, you're going to subtract that mean from each number in the set and square the results. And then 3, we're going to find the mean of the squared differences. And then at the end, you just take the square root of that mean. All right, so for example, if we ask for the standard deviation from this set of numbers, first thing, make sure it's in order. So the smallest number I see here is 2. So I'm going to put 2. Then the next number should be 4. Then 5. Then I see 7, 8, 9, and then 11. And what you want to do is get the mean. So how many numbers do I have here? I got 3, 6, 7. Should have 8 numbers. Oh yeah, and then 12. 8. So since it's an even amount of numbers, you're going to count in and find the middle numbers. So these two numbers lie in the center of the set of numbers, 7 and 8. And what you want to do is get the average of that. So we know 7 plus 8 is going to be 15, but you got to divide that by 2. That's roughly about what, 7.5. So that's going to be our mean, is 7.5. So that's the first thing to do is get the mean. We know it's going to be 7.5. And what you want to do is subtract that from each number in the set and then square it. So I'm going to make a list. Let's say we have 2. So we're going to say 2 minus 7.5. And then the next was 4 minus 7.5. Then we have 5 minus 7.5. We have 7 minus 7.5. Then we have 8 minus 7.5. Move this further over. Then we have 9 minus 7.5. Then we have 11 minus 7.5, and then 12 minus 7.5. All right, so when you do that, this is going to be negative 5.5. This is going to be negative 3.5. This is going to be negative 2.5. And this is going to be negative 0.5. And this is positive 0.5. You're going to get 1.5 here. Difference between 11 and 7.5 is going to be 3.5. And then you're going to get 4.5. All right, and then the next step is to square the results. All right, so I have negative 5.5, and I'm going to square that. If I do that, I should get 30.25. Then I had negative 3.5. I square that. I should have 12.25. Then my next one was negative 2.5. I square the result there. I get 6.25. Then I had negative 0.5. And if I square that, I get 0.25. All right, then I had 0.5, which is going to be the same, right? So I'm going to get 0.25. And then I had 1.5. If I square that, I get 2.25. The tedious task, but just follow the steps. And I got 12.25. And then I have 4.5, and I square that. And I wound up with 20.25. And what you're going to do is find the median of these sets of numbers. Let's look what the median would look like. All right, so you're going to have to write these in order. So if you have 0.25, now repeat it twice, 0.25. Then you had 2.25. We have 6.25, 12.25. Then that repeated again, 12.25, 20.25, and then 30.25. And if you go down the list, you would notice that this is in the center. So the 6.5 and in the center. This is in the center. You're going to take the average of 6.25 and 12.25. And when you do that, you're going to get 9.25. That's our median. But it says to take the square root of that. So if you roughly do that, it's going to be roughly about 3.41. And that will be our standard deviation. 3.41. That concludes our lesson for today.